Welcome to Creative Tian channel. In the last video, we show you how to do a basic ewrap and using waste yarn and ravel cord. Today we will continue our cast on method. I'm going to start with a double ewrap cast on. First, you select the stitches you like to ewrap and place it to D position. I always like to add some weight first and start from the left side. So when we do the ewrap, we just wrap like the letter E and continue like that. This is how we do a simple ewrap. And the double ewrap is very similar. I start with the yarn between the first and second needle, move to the left side, so it looks like we are doing an ewrap. Next, we are going to go between the second and third stitch and then place it all the way back to the latch of the first stitch, like that. So make sure all the latches are open for this method. It will be easier for double ewrap cast on. Now the stitches is in the latch. Pull back the first needle. It's like hand knitting. And we'll continue. Place a yarn between the second and third stitch and place yarn in the latch of the first needle and hand knit that stitch. And we'll keep repeating that and move back to the first needle inside the latch and then pull the needle backwards. Make sure you keep the tension loose enough and not too tight. We'll continue doing that. And this is the last stitch. We can just put the yarn in the latch and knit the last one. That's the double ewrap cast on. And then you can place yarn in the carriage feeder and continue knitting as usual. You can combine this with waste yarn and ravel cord, or you can start directly. If you start directly like that, it's easier to push out all the needle to the D position when you knit the first few rows, because it's very difficult to hand the weight for the first few rows. When you have about 2 or 3 rows, you can hand the weight and continue knitting. So this is a double ewrap. That's the ewrap edge. It's more sturdy, but it's not very flexible. So you have to consider that for your project. The next cast on is called latch tool cast on or crochet cast on. You can use either latch tool or a crochet hook. I will use a latch tool first. We can start with a slip knot. It'll be easier. And place your latch in the center. Make the loop smaller but not too tight. And we'll place our tool between the first and second needle from bottom up. And keep the yarn outside of the first stitch. And we'll place the yarn in the hook and make sure the loop is outside the latch. And we'll pull down the latch tool so latch is closed like that. And then we go to the next needle between the second and third. Keep the loop below the latch and then grab the yarn. We'll do the same. And again, we try to keep the tension even and not too tight. So you might want to keep the loop bigger first and then adjust it. I will keep all the chain stitches behind the latch. Keep it to the back, just like an ewrap. At the end, you can just place a loop to the needle, or you can do an extra like that, and then place the last loop back to the needle. And then we'll continue the same way. Place a yarn in the carriage and knit 1 row. And you can place all the needle to the D position and knit. And repeating that until you can place the weight. And now we can just knit back and forth. You can use a crochet hook for the same cast on method. And I'll start with a slip knot. And place a hook. And again, I can start between the first and second stitch and just crochet like you are making a chain stitch. It's easier to start with bigger loop and then adjust it. This one is with Latch tool cast on. You can see it's sturdy but not very flexible. And this one is with crochet hook. It's very similar. It has a chain stitch. So this one is the double ewrap. It doesn't have that chain stitches. So that's the cast on method for today. Please subscribe and turn on the notification bell. Thank you so much and see you next time.